Yeah, let's go. So this session is all about Princeton, who has really taken a great approach to their user experience challenges in PeopleSoft. And we want to talk a little bit about this approach. We've had the privilege to work with Princeton on this. So I'm Andrew Bediz with Gideon Taylor. I run the IntraSee division, which focuses on user experience and conversational AI, digital assistance. And I brought with me my friends from Princeton who can introduce themselves here in a second. We'll take you through this project, the approach, show you a bunch of screenshots, a little bit of a demo, and do some Q&A. So we have half an hour. We'll go quick, and that's it for me. Devesh, you want to do an introduction from your side? Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm Devesh Yadav from Princeton University. I work in finance and treasury, and I have my colleagues here from Princeton. Kislay, want to go next?
Sure. So hi, everyone. My name is Kislay Kaushik. I work in F&T at Princeton, and I oversee the financial systems and business analysis for our core ERP financials. So yeah, good to be here.
Okay. Debbie?
You're on mute, Debbie.
I dreaded this. Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Devi Narayanan. I am with Campus Solutions technical team. As part of OIT, we support Devesh and Kislay as a functional user. Thanks.
Great. All right, so let's jump into it. Still a little bit about Gideon Taylor, what we are. This is our common slide. I won't go through this. We do all sorts of stuff. I do the user experience, but we also do traditional PeopleSoft consulting. We do SaaS implementations like HCM Cloud, RPA, robotic process automation. We do business process automation with eForms and all sorts of other things. And like I said, it's been a joy to work with Princeton here. So let's tell you a little bit about Princeton. When you guys want to go through this for me?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. So I think Princeton is a very well-known name in higher education. And we have about 5,000 undergraduate students, around 3,000-ish graduate students. Our graduate students, typically, most of them, about 90% of them are PhD candidates. We do have about 7,000 employees and make a pretty large contribution to our local economy. And there's obviously a lot more about Princeton, but we'll jump into the presentation.
Great. So let's talk a little, we're going to talk about two projects. You know, as I looked at this title slide, I had a little bit of regret because it says student-focused design. It really should say user-focused design, because we are going to talk about two different projects here. Both about improving the user experience. One is more about procurement users who aren't necessarily students, and the other is about student financials, both for graduates and undergraduates. So do you guys want to talk a little bit about kind of the high level, the purpose of these projects and what you were trying to achieve and what some of the pain points might have been?
Sure. I'll start with student financials, and Kislay would cover the procurement side of it. So in 2019, we went live with student financials, which is part of PeopleSoft Campus Solutions. And think of it, right, as a system that's for billing and receivables for the students. And there were a number of challenges with what we had was pretty old. It was a custom solution. So it was time for us to replace that solution. And as we looked at PeopleSoft, we like PeopleSoft a lot. We are a PeopleSoft shop, and we have PeopleSoft Financials, HCM, Campus Solutions. So we know the tool very well, which means that we also have a sense of the usability challenges that are there in PeopleSoft, right? And we wanted to make sure that when we implemented student financials, the goal was to implement a solution that caters to the needs of our students, and it's less about the system, right? You can put 10 systems together, and if a student has to go to 10 places to get the answer, that's not what we were looking for. So we were looking for an integrated place, one place where the students could go and do a number of things. that are related to finance. They don't have to worry about going to multiple places. That was a real goal with this. And we are, in fact, still on that path. We have been making some changes even after go live. So what it enabled, though, was people could look up their bills. And you'll see this in the screenshots that we will share with you in a few minutes. They can make a payment, they can request refunds, they can view their tax documents, they can enroll in direct deposit. A lot of these functions were in quite a few different places, different applications. That was the goal, and I think we met the goal. Kislay?
Sure. So as Devesh rightly pointed out, Princeton here, the culture is less about system, it's more about people and processes, and then how these systems or technology support the core mission for the university. So as Devesh pointed out, we are heavily invested in PeopleSoft as our core ERP application for quite many years now. Many of us, like personally for me, Princeton has already been a PeopleSoft shop when I joined Princeton, and then how we make it even better going forward. So one of the key objectives of moving to this fluid and the work-centric approach for Princeton was to enhance usability and how to make the data and the processes available as one-stop shop, irrespective of where or which system, how it is coming. It's all about what and how, plain and simple. How do we do it, and what do we do it with it? Especially in the procurement and financials area, it's heavily driven by some audits, transparency, workflows, where that particular transaction is in its life cycle, and how does this system meet the SLAs. So yes, Devesh was talking about more on the student side of it and how we make the lives of students, faculty better. And on the other side, the other entities which also interact with Princeton's are the suppliers and how they get paid, and how the entities at the campus have a seamless buying and paying and experiences, so that they can focus more on the things that they need to focus and worry less about the systems aspect of it. So yeah, Andrew, help us think in the right direction, and then how to baseline what we have already and how we can construct from there. So in a bit, I would like to get you all right into the system and just let the system talk through, rather than me giving a big speech here. So we can right into it.
Great. So I just want to talk a little bit about our process, right? It's because I mentioned, Princeton had reached out to us to partner with them on these different projects. And so I want to walk you through kind of the stages of how we executed these projects as a combined team. So first and foremost, we started with what I'll kind of generically call user groups. These are sessions and meetings where we would get folks who use these processes and support these processes, either technically or functionally, and we get them into a room and we really pick their brains, try to understand a day in the life, right? You really can't solve a user's pain points unless you try to walk a mile in their shoes. And that's what stage one was all about. Let's get in front of these folks and let's hear it straight from them. And where are the problems? Where are the pains? We're not trying to solve anything in stage one. We're just trying to absorb and understand, right? So in stage two, we go through what we call our visual design process. And so what that means is, out of stage one, we understand the pains. We have some ideas of how we might solve them. I think one thing that's important to understand definitionally is there's a difference when we say UI, or user interface, and when we say UX, or user experience, right? UI is like Classic Plus, right? It is making it look better, right? It might be different fonts, might be more padding, might be different colors. UX is improving the experience, right? That could be less clicks, that could be better labels, that could be more integration, right? So you have to look at both together. So the visual design exercise is taking some of our UX ideas and having a more of a creative artist type transform that into what the UI would look like, while giving you a feel for what the UX would be like. And so just like an architect would model a house before actually building that house, that's exactly what we do here. And so then we have screenshots, mockups. They look like screenshots. You can't tell the difference, really. And we share those with the user community. We share those with the stakeholders. And we see, where did we get it right? Where do we get things wrong? And let's iterate and revise. So we're doing all this work before a single line of code is ever touched. That's stage two. Stage 3, we end up then starting to build this thing and put it together and going through routine kind of iterations and revisions. Often it's an agile approach. We're having these meetings where we're reviewing the live system and we're noticing things, right? Because the data will always surprise you. There'll be that one person who, has 2 EMPL record numbers, right? Or 2 academic careers. And you didn't anticipate exactly how it was going to look for this edge case. And so you solve those things. And then you launch. And, one of the great things Princeton's done is they understand that launching these things is not a one-time activity, that often it just gives them, it gives them this opportunity to collect more feedback from the community and understand what's next and planning a next phase. So student financials, for example, I think we're almost coming up on phase 4, if I have that right. So, making incremental progress, measuring feedback from the community and adjusting. So that's the process. So